bum, bada bum bum, bum, bada bum bum, bum, bada bum bum, bum, bada bum bum,
Dice,
bum,
rolls,
bum,
dragons,
bum,
trolls.
Dadventurous.
Welcome to
Dadventurous.
I don't know why I said it like that. Welcome back for another special episode, a second special episode. Is it more special than the first?
I don't know.
Me neither. With our guest star appearing once more.
It's me. Gotcha.
Yep, that was
Wow.
good. That was good. All right. Yes, we're back at it again.
It really wasn't that funny.
It was funny enough.
It's the mom.
It caught me. It caught me.
Oh,
off guard.
wow.
We're back to continue on the Athon story here of Kia and Calvatia and the Bog Witches and all that sort of fun stuff.
You forgot Flibbit.
And Flibbit. Flibbit is also there.
We were talking about how me and Calvatia and Flibbit were running off to go see what happened in the main square.
Careful, I'm going to make you do the recap.
We shopped and stuff.
You did?
Yep,
You got fancy clothes.
lots of shopping.
We're
Courtesy
doing a recap
of
in case that was
Calvatia, because it's me, not the council members, that
That's
is
right.
leading the charge. I bought Kia a lovely set of arrowheads. What did you say? Colon elemental. Yes.
Bundle of arrows, elemental. Not a semicolon.
Showed her
Colon.
through town and this lovely event that's coming up, which is an auction put on by a stuffy rich dude named Reginald Winston Goldsworth.
That's right.
Reginald Winston Goldsworth.
Very specifically, the Reginald Winston Goldsworth Auction of Antiquities and Artifacts.
Yes, you can tell his pretentiousness just from the title. But yeah, it led you through the beginning of an event, helped you try to find some tickets in this hat, got you prepared to attend the event via shopping and clothing. Flibbit has a lovely top hat and tie.
Yep.
And Kia is wearing a lovely green slip dress with her Bog Witch token of goodwill on a new silvery gold chain.
Yep. Also, you went to the Rusty Bracket Inn last night, Kia. And who'd you talk to? What'd you find there?
I found General from General's General Goods.
That's right. What happened to them?
They got portaled here by unknown forces. Portaled to Athon from Map's Edge during a wild magic storm. But it was just General and 6 other people, one of which was randomly named Jim.
Yep. Jim's important. Yep, and they were heading back to Map's Edge today, this morning. You woke up and they were on their way. They don't really know what happened, but they're ready to get back to town and maybe go talk with Theodora and figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they get teleported? What happened at the auction? These are the answers. We're now going to answer. The questions? The questions we are now going to answer.
As we were preparing you to be all dressed up and lovely for this event so that you can actually attend the auction and look like everybody else, I told you that the auction house was broken into last night
It was
by
indeed.
a tall, mysteriously large horned figure.
And they theoretically did not get anything that they wanted. Because the alarms were triggered and they were chased off.
But maybe they got that. Wasn't it like a baseball cap or
It was a
something?
baseball cap. And that is where we are now. You guys were finishing up buying things from Stick, the guy who ran Bog Bloomingdale's.
And Ariana, the rhinoceros person from the Emporium.
That's true. Yeah, I thought of those names because
Stick.
I looked around the room and saw things that made me think of that. For example, a stick that I saw. Anyway.
What about Ariana?
I don't know. That came to my brain because I'm a genius. We are standing there checking out from your arrows and your clothing and everything, and Nettle came running over to Calvatia and said, Miss, you must come immediately. There's an emergency at the auction. and you guys took off running as you saw a commotion. It is probably mid-morning to early afternoon now. The sun is bright and shiny and beautiful, and
Shiny?
all your decorations are wonderful as you sprint past full speed, heading for the auction house. There's a commotion going on. Are you with Calvatia?
Yes. I ran after her. After probably like tying up my dress a little bit.
To make sure it doesn't snag?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't want such nice clothing to get ruined in a battle.
That's very nice. So you guys rush over and you head over, and there's this big commotion happening outside of the thing. You see Aiden there trying to like get people's attention. No one paying attention to him because he's
an
Aiden,
intern.
The intern.
After all these years.
A senior intern, but still an intern.
He doesn't command attention
No,
quite
he does
yet.
not. And Nettle's like, quick, this way. And you rush over. And you can kind of hear voices, not raised, but you hear a voice arguing.
Is it Reginald?
It is Reginald.
Of course.
And he's going, I said subtle. I said subtle and vibrant and exuberant. And you bring me this. And he points at the circular plate that was already discussed. And he is in the midst of throwing them out of the auction house onto the ground. And he said, I said oval. And everyone's like, oh, wait, no. And it's all these like metal plates. So this is apparently the emergency.
It's an emergency.
Nettle's like, I couldn't control him, ma'am. He just, it's out of his mind. I think maybe the break-in has him a little high strung.
And so I rush up to Reginald. I maybe cast. I send out a mage hand real quick to grab just maybe a plate or two that is like flying on the way, trying to catch them before they hit the ground. As I'm like, Reginald, sir, please, let's discuss this.
And so standing
Calmly.
before you is a tall half-elf guy. He's probably like 6'2", blonde, slicked back, almost graying hair, like velvet suit, like crushed velvet, red suit, cravat. And he looks at you and he looks around and he says, but these are circular.
Reginald, let me explain my reasoning. You wanted oval, but the oval plates that we had were just boring old white plates. Look at these ones. They are more of an eggshell, and they have embossed edges on them. So it fits that subtle but exuberant. It has textured edging, and we have more of these. It'll look classier for your event. These round plates are definitely the better option that we had for you.
Flibbit in the background's like, I don't really get what the difference is between... Oh. Can you roll a persuasion check?
You're having so much fun playing Reginald.
Reginald Winston Goldsworth.
I rolled a 14.
A 14. Okay. He takes a deep breath and he's like, well, it's not really what I envisioned.
I understand. We have to make do sometimes with the things that we have, and I felt that we had more of these nice looking round plates available than we had the oval plates. It just didn't really feel like oval met your vision this time. I know you were feeling oval, but I think that this matches your description that you were giving me. The whole vibrant, subtle.
Yes. You don't need to flatter me. I know I have a great vision. Well, I suppose I could allow it. I'm sorry. And he steps aside to just you, Calvatia, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm just a little high-strung.
I understand completely.
Also, the smoked fish was a little dry, but it's still good.
If
But it's a little dry.
If we'd been given a little bit more time to put in a proper order, maybe next time we can plan the event a little sooner.
Well,
in
you know me.
advance.
I don't like things like dates, and it's when I feel. It's what I feel. The time for an auction.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
the time is today.
time also means that we have to give a little. So let's talk about this, not in the middle of the square.
He looks around, he looks a little nervous, and he kind of looks at you, who's right behind Calvatia. He's like, yes, I suppose that's true. Who are you, and why are you here? And what is that? And he points at Flibbit.
I say, well, that is a flump. His name is Flibbit.
Flibbit. Terrible name.
I gently push Flibbit away into the crowd.
Red.
Yeah. I say, well, my name is Kia, and Calvatia here was showing me around. I was actually hoping to attend the auction, as with most of the people in
And
this
will she
crowd.
have a ticket?
She has a ticket, sir.
Well, and he looks you up and down, and he notices the big necklace. And he looks at Calvatia, and he says, well, I suppose that indicates that you have done some good for our fair city. So I welcome you into the auction, I suppose. I like the way the chain looks on the necklace.
Thank you. It was Calvatia's
Reginald,
pick.
Would you be willing to give Kia a brief tour or description of what you're putting on auction tonight? A little
walk and talk,
preview?
dear. You know I don't like standing here. And
I turn to Nettle and give her like the side eye and like a thumbs up, kind of like behind my back, and
yep. And Reginald just starts walking away into the auction house.
And the mage hand like slowly comes down into some of these like servers' hands to like reset them, reorder and recut new fruit for these platters, and just.
So as you guys approach the auction house again, this big archway, big metal, gold, bronze, lots of metallics here. Big doors opened up, and the whole thing is just like turquoise carpets and purples, like curtains and bright gold woven fabrics on things. It's just ridiculous. It's like way over the top, way more in it than anything you've ever seen.
I think she's looking around and being like, this is impressive, but also kind of ritzy, and I don't like it.
Yep. And he says, now, tell me, what is it that you wanted to know? You wanted to know about the auction? You want to know the items? Is that what we are? I'm on a schedule. He's that type of person. He says schedule. I'm on a schedule. We need to.
Well, I was wondering if I'm under the knowledge that you auction past world items?
Yes, we do. Today we have some lovely things going off. I'll be doing some paintings, some past world paintings. Artists used to have such interesting views of colors and things we found.
I was hoping to know if you might have a specific item that I was looking for.
I have a microwave. I believe that's what they called it. And it melts anything that you put in it. Anything at all.
Really?
Yeah. I believe they called them automobiles or cars. Doesn't work anymore, of course, but pristine. And then he leans in close and he says, and of course, there's my special auction for the day. A secret. It will be quite exciting.
Well, do you know of any sort of, like, hat item, past world item? It was magic-y. It's like a, I believe they called them baseball caps?
He stops in the pathway. And he turns and looks at both of you. And he looks back at you. And he said, what do you know of the baseball cap? And he's very serious.
This is great. Oh my
Calvatia,
God.
who is this? How
Um,
does she know of these things?
She's been on a mission, Reginald. I'm just here. I know that she's done a great service to our city. I'm here to help her out. She's what she's looking for.
Actively glaring at you and Flibbit.
I pull out my rummager license and say,
Ugh.
I was ordered a contract of sorts from a fellow rummager to find powerful past world items, and I had a friend who was also doing that same contract, and she's been missing for a couple of days, and so I was wondering and I was thinking that she might have come here to find that baseball cap because she was also looking for those powerful past world items. And so I was wondering if you'd have seen anybody that might have come by to also look at the baseball cap.
He's glaring at you like this, and he's looking at Calvatia. And he says, of course not. And then he walks on, and he ignores those questions. And he keeps walking. And he says, well, the auction is starting soon. Why don't you go find seats?
I turn to Calvatia, and I turn to Flibbit. Then I look at Reginald's rapidly receding back, and I say...
Rapidly receding Reginald.
Yeah. And I say, well, that was an interesting response.
Reginald tends to ignore things that he dislikes. I feel like you're on the right track.
Okay.
Reginald is, well, he's eccentric, and
I can see that, and I gesture widely to the entire building.
yes, this decor wouldn't be my choice, but
Agreed.
this is Reginald's building. Let's go see. Let's go.
I just want to say, I had this image of him, like, as he's receding in the background, like someone runs up to him and shows him a tapestry that's like green, and he said, I said turquoise, and he throws it away and then disappears into a side room.
We can go peruse the auction items and get some information on them before pre-bidding, or possibly see if Maud's in the audience, if she's here.
Yes.
What does she look like? Who should I be on the lookout for to help you?
Elf,
She's a rummager. She's got dirty blonde hair.
I don't actually know if you ever described her to me
I
other
did,
than...
but it was the first episode
Yeah.
or second episode.
Do you remember?
I could pull up my notes, but
And
she's
thank you
a
for a look.
blonde rummager elf lady who is pretty grizzled. She's seen some stuff.
I relate
She's
that.
probably got some scars.
Okay,
That kind of thing.
I'll keep an eye out for a grizzled-looking elf
Yep.
lady.
She looks like she can throw down. And there's doors to go into the kind of main auction display room. As you guys go in to that area, there's a lot of seats set up. There's people like onlooker seats up high, like in a balcony. Like you've probably helped set some of this stuff up, Calvatia. And then seats up forward for the bidders and things like that. And you see on pedestals up at the front of the room some of these items he mentioned. A microwave, some paintings,
A car.
a covered thing. The we would know to be a car shaped, but it just looks like a large covered thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in the corner of the stage, there is a even larger than the car, completely boxed in, like with a wooden box item. And so this might be the special item he alluded to.
I point to the box and I say, it's probably in there.
Yes, Reginald he tends to leave the items that he considers extravagant, something that's going to make like a big show for the last item. He wants to squeeze out money for all of the rest of his bids, and it will be the last one revealed. So we may have a long time to wait to see for it, but if you're looking to get it outside of the auction, we might have to see who wins it, or...
I look, and I'm assuming it's on a stage.
Mhm.
Kia looks to Flibbit, and she looks to the box.
What you think of? Yeah, I can see the gears turning.
Does that thing have a lid?
The box? You'd have to get closer, or you can make an investigation check. You guys are at the back of this room with a lot of seats and things. It's up on a stage, probably 60 feet in front of you.
21.
21. It doesn't. It looks like it has a lid. It honestly looks like it has a mechanism. As you kind of glance at it, maybe there's the way it's designed. Maybe there's some ropes coming off of it. It looks like it's designed to open in sort of like a display fashion. Like the whole thing is going to open up at once.
I think she goes over back to Calvatia and says, well, we should probably find some seats and see who wins it.
Well, you have your ticket, and
Yeah.
I need to make sure that this event is running. If you and Flibbit want to have a seat here and look at the items as people start to come in, I need to go check with Reginald and Nettle and Aiden and make sure our round plates got handled, put back in the right situation, so that everything can run smoothly. I'll be back, though. I'll be in and out of the event if you need me.
In the background, once more, you hear turquoise.
And you see Calvatia. You see Calvatia just grip her little mossy mushroom amulet on her neck. and then let it go and shake out her hands and walk towards the turquoise shout.
All right, and Flibbit looks at you and he goes, well, I mean, we're trying to find a hat and you got broken into last night or something?
Yeah, that box looks real big for one hat.
That's true.
So
Do you suppose someone was trying to find the surged item?
Probably. I mean, if you think about it, there's only one large horned person that we know.
That's true.
But
But I mean, do you think he was here trying to break in to look for the hat?
maybe.
Seems
Maybe it's
too coincidental to not be a coincidence.
what?
I think that made sense.
Okay. But I know, but he might like that those vehicle tracks says they stopped here for a while
And then moved on, right?
and then moved on. So if he found either he was chased out of the city or if he found what he was looking for and left with it, that would be bad.
Mm-hmm.
And Reginald acted rather negatively about me asking about the hat. So,
That's very true. Well, I guess we could just wait and see what the auction is all about.
yes, and whether the secret item is actually the hat. Because that box, like, hats aren't that big.
Nope. Just like this one, and Flibbit tips his top hat to you. Top of the morning to you. And then
It's
about that time,
noon.
somebody claps from the stage, and you look up and you see Calvatia on stage. And the auction is just about to start. And you see Calvatia standing there, like, having a hushed conversation with Reginald, who's, like, behind a curtain, like, telling Calvatia what to say, and they're having, like, a little distant argument about something, and then he gives her, like, the shoe fingers and then closes himself behind the curtains again. I'm just throwing your mom for a loop, and she has to make something up.
I pull out of this pouch that I have that sits on my hip. I sort through a few powders and toss them up into the air and use it to make the lights flicker. Please, everyone, find your seats. The auction will begin in 10 minutes. And I look behind the curtain with my eyebrows raised.
Yep.
And Reginald's
It's
probably
like 8 minutes.
8 minutes. And then wait, and then I turn back to Reginald, and
Yeah, Reginald's like, go find a seat, you're fine.
okay.
And then
I Calvatia takes the podium, the stand in front of things, and moves it just slightly to the left, and then walks off stage to come join you at a seat.
Slightly to the left.
some time passes, and there's like a drum roll in the background, and all of a sudden, Reginald walks out, and he goes, "Welcome one, welcome all to the Reginald Winston Goldsworth auction of antiquities and artifacts. I, of course, am Reginald Winston Goldsworth of Reginald Winston Goldsworth Antiquities and Artifacts." Sorry.
You
And
love
are
playing
here
Reginald.
at the Reginald Winston Goldworth Auction House today for another auction. A beautiful auction, courtesy of the Goldsworth line. Anyway, welcome everyone. We are going to be auctioning off some fantastic items today. We are going to be starting it off with these wonderful paintings. And so basically, long story short, unless you guys want to interact with anything, he starts auctioning some stuff off. He starts by auctioning off these paintings. One's like a painting of a river with a school behind it and kids playing at a playground from past world times.
And you see a gentle mist roll across the stage. Subtle, but exuberant.
That's true. And he looks at the mist and he gives you a nod. A very imperceptible little nod of like, nice. I appreciated that one.
Subtle, but exuberant.
And then the other painting is like of a deer playing poker with tigers.
I mean, I once found a painting that was like really close to that in Egypt, so it could be.
All right.
Wolf
And
with a lion
then
or
some
whatever.
time passes, and up comes this microwave that he talked about, this small little compartment. The door opens up, and it's just like 5 minutes of him putting interesting things in there and pressing a button. And unlike our microwaves, it just turns everything to molten goop. And it's him like throwing in like metal and a porcelain doll and like some silverware, and all of it just turns into goop. And he always holds up this like metal goop pile afterwards. That goes off to bid after a while. And then the car is revealed, this automobile. He pulls the rug off of it, right? And it's this like beautiful little green blue car that has headlights and everything. It's all very beautiful, but of course it doesn't do anything at all, and would have to be just like a centerpiece for a wealthy person.
You can see
Rich
Aiden
people.
and Nettle like mildly behind the curtains using a mirror and a torch to make the car glint.
Glint.
Give it that kind of like sunlight
Yeah.
shine without being outside.
I like it. So it's extra sparkly, extra shiny. That one goes for a lot of money. Like thousands and thousands of clips. Very, very wealthy people.
Wow.
And then some time passes. Maybe there's a small break. And eventually Reginald comes out and he gestures to this box.
The very
This
large
very
box.
large box. And some people, like maybe Aiden and Nettle, like wheel it to the center stage, right? And he moves the podium out of the way. And he says, and now, the piece de résistance.
You speak French?
Reginald French. And he says, I have something very special, something very interesting. Perhaps something never seen before. I don't know. Some of you in the audience might recognize these. Some of you, this is just myth. Maybe it's just things you hear about. You don't know. But it's a mystery nonetheless. Are you all ready to experience the most iconic, most wonderful item at Reginald Winston Goldsworth Auction of Antiquities and Artifacts? I almost didn't breathe on that one. And there's like the lights dim, and
I use more smoke powder to make things like spark and snap and
Yeah.
kind of like that whole firework effect for the applause that he's probably not quite getting too much of. But
there's a little drum roll from someone off stage, and he goes, voila! And Aiden presses a button or whatever, and the whole box, and smoke pours out of it, so you can't quite see what's in there at first. And then through the smoke, you start seeing a shape, about lion-sized, maybe horse-sized.
is this
It
what
dissipates,
baseball cap is supposed to look like?
No,
And
it's a
it-
hat.
and the
Oh.
smoke starts settling.
I
And Kia,
Wait, hang on.
oh,
I'm going. I would.
got the hand. Hold on, please.
Hold up right now. I'm going to. I had my arrows like stowed away. I'm going to subtly, hopefully, just pull them out and lay them on my lap
Okay.
along with my bow.
As it starts to dissipate, you start hearing murmurs in the crowd. You start hearing gasps. And finally, the smoke dissipates enough, and you see a very familiar eye attached to a very familiar head. But the eye is dark, but slowly you see two front legs, and you see two back legs, and you see a creature that you saw a long time ago of the Scrayclops. But it is not moving. The light is off, and it's sitting there stationary. And he goes, No, no one worry. I have found a dormant scraper.
What has Reginald brought into this town?
I lean over and put a hand on Calvatia's shoulder and say, something real bad.
And he says, Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. I have had this thing in a warehouse for weeks. Nothing has happened. Just ready for this auction. And so,
I scoff.
it is completely dormant. Nothing, absolutely nothing, could go wrong.
Oh,
I-
my bog sisters and brothers are going to need to address Reginald's.
And right at about that time, you guys hear a loud boom in the back of the auction house. And everybody starts panicking for a second, and more smoke kind of rumbles in through this back door of the auction house where some of this stuff is, almost like backstage, right? And Reginald freaks out for a second.
I stand up and pull my bow and say, I'm really glad I got these arrows.
Yeah. And then the curtain falls from the ceiling. It's like it's got ripped off. And this red curtain falls down. And as it falls in slow motion, the first thing you see is some horns. And then you see a very furry minotaur head. And then you see the armor of this very, very, very large minotaur with a big Z.
Exactly
on
10
armor
feet tall.
Stretched across his belly. And he looks at everybody. And in one hand, he's got a hat, a baseball cap. And on the other hand, he's got something. You can't quite see what it is. It looks like an orb. It looks like something. You're not quite sure. And then he goes, well, Reginald, could have done it the easy way. Had to do it the hard way.
Calvatia stands, spins around, throws powder at the torches, lights everything up, and says, I need everyone to calmly exit through the back of the building immediately. Nice, calm, single file order. Head out.
If I have time to act, I am going
Maybe.
to... Kia pulls the bow back and is going to aim up, and hopefully this will work. Aim up and is going to try and shoot the hat.
Oh, interesting. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of a roll-off, because I was about to say that Mr. Czar Bloodhoof, who you were seeing for the first time, again, 10 feet tall, huge dude, dark brown fur and like armor, leather armor going all over his body. He looks like he has some sort of weapon on his back. You can't quite tell because it's sheathed right now, but you see the handle and big horns that are just like pointing kind of, they go up and then they curve down and forward like he's ready to charge. And he's wearing, and all the armor is very like reds and blacks and things like that. And he's standing there and he's holding the hat up like this, talking to Reginald, and he had something in his hand. He was about to press a button, and you want to fire us off. So we're going to roll initiative. And if you get a higher initiative than him, we can do this before his hat waving thing.
22.
Okay, stand by. A 3. I guess
Good. I got a 15,
be a
so
6.
I get to spin around and yell at the crowd too.
Okay, this is interesting. So I think what happens is your arrow is going to go off at the same time that he's pressing this button, but you are aiming for the hat, and you are trying to get it out of his hand, I assume?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and roll an attack.
Another 19, which is a 28 to hit.
It wasn't an armor class thing, it was a DC in my head thing, and I was thinking at least an 18. And so, why don't you describe to me what happens with this hat that this Mr. Czar Bloodhoof was about to do? As he pulls the curtain down, there's probably about 30 feet behind him of just stuff. The back of the auction house, more things there. And you can see behind him now what appeared to be like a case, like a glass case that has been shattered that was behind the stage. And
So I, slow motion, pull the bowstring back with one of my normal arrows, and I squint one eye and release it, and it goes spins through the air.
nice.
Because you know how there's always like a little button on top of baseball caps? It probably goes through the center of the hat and hits the button and goes...
Carries it out of his hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do that. You succeed. And he was about to press the button, he was looking in his left hand, and he feels it turn, and he turns and he looks behind him, and by then that arrow has sailed into the stuff, and he lost sight of it. He presses the button, and the light on the Scrayclops turns on and glows a bright orange.
Oh dear.
Okay, so
Oh
Kia,
my.
you got to go first. Czar lets out a bellowing anger, but finds himself very, very close to the Scrayclops, and looks like he's about ready to make a dash.
So I go first?
Yep, you go first. The Scrayclops turns its orange eye towards Tsar Bloodhoof, and then he points at you, and the Scrayclops, it's almost as if he has some sort of control over it, looks at you because you fired the arrow, and he goes, attack. But it's not the thing's turn. And I will say to you that, like, people haven't fully exited yet. There's still a rush of civilians who are panicking and starting to run towards the door. Also, during that explosion and knockoff, Reginald got knocked to the ground, and he is standing only about 10 feet. He's laying down only about 10 feet from Tsar, wide-eyed, looking up at this Minotaur and backing up, like, on his hands, scooting backwards.
I'm assuming she still wears her pin.
Nothing's changed.
So she's going to tap her little airplane pin
And activate.
and activate Zephyr Strike.
Okay.
Because she wants this Minotaur dude to go away.
Okay.
So, Zephyr Strike, and then she's going to rush over to Tsar
Okay.
and try and slash at him with one of her swords for a wow. This doesn't hit because I got an 8.
No. First attack. He sees you coming. He sees what he does, and he just deflects it with one of his bracers and moves you out of the way. He's like, "What is this? Who are you?" But it's still your turn. You don't have to respond.
Seeing he deflected, she is going to ignore the Scrayclops for now and is going to try to attack again.
Okay.
Still not using the advantage from Zephyr
Okay.
Strike because that's still real bad. A 10.
No, also doesn't hit.
Well, or wait, actually no. She is going to jump back 30 feet. And doing so does not provoke opportunity attacks because of Zephyr
Because of
Strike.
Zephyr Strike. Okay, yes. So you see this like gust of wind form around you. You go in there and you slash twice. The wind like trying to hit him, but he's just too big. He's just too powerful. And you recognize that nothing's going on. And so you disengage backwards to 30 feet. Okay. That's your turn, Calvatia. It's your turn.
I look at Kia and I see that she went for this big Minotaur guy over the Scrayclops. I yell at Aiden.
Who's still holding a torch and a mirror in the, sidelines.
Aiden, get out of here. Get the council. Bring them in to help. We might need everybody we can get. And then I
Yes,
cast,
miss. And he runs.
And then I cast Bestow Curse
Ooh.
on Tsar Bloodhoof. I swipe into my glass ampule necklace and pull off some spores and a little bit of moss, and I throw it at him, and he needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Now, how wise is this giant 10-foot tall Minotaur?
Not that wise. 9.
And he fails. So, while you are cursed, you will have disadvantage on your wisdom saving throws.
Okay.
You also have disadvantage on attack rolls against me.
Okay.
You also have to, at the end of your turn, try a wisdom saving throw again. And if you, at the start of your turn, if you fail it, you don't get to make an action.
Okay.
And then I will get to do extra damage to you.
Bestow
Yeah.
curses.
It's
right?
my big witch power.
Do you want
I
me to
bring
be
in-
really mean?
What's that?
He's gonna make himself succeed on that.
He can do that.
He uses one of his legendary resistances.
He will come again.
Does he have to
my
have
eyes-
legendary
Sorry.
My
resistance?
eyes narrow, and I clutch that necklace, and I start to scoop some more. And
He's a big bad.
then
I'm
I
level
guess
5.
I
Sorry.
I mean, that's the nature of the beast. I will step behind one of the pillars
Okay.
near stage
Yeah.
and
Yeah, they're kinda on the
give
sides.
myself a little bit of cover.
Okay. Okay, so he burned one of those. He went, it's actually Flibbit's turn. Flibbit's going to look at Kia, look at Calvatia, look back at Kia, and go, well, I know that you're more of a concern than me. And so he's going to do his thing where he taps you on the head again, and you feel this aura of protection go around you. And he's casting his version of Shield of Faith.
Yee.
So you get an extra 2 to your AC.
Ooh.
And then he's going to fly 30 feet backwards. Out of the way. Okay, the drones, the Scrayclops. Okay? You watch as that big Scrayclops, similar to the one that you saw in the scrape all those times ago, hunches over, bends down, and you watch as the body like makes a sharp like pop, and then another sharp pop. And after a second, it like curls into a ball, right? And then from both sides, it separates into 2 smaller drones, these Scrayclop drone thingies, okay? The middle dog beast that you saw before, smaller now, and unrolling aside of him are 2 more scrapers. It is going to look at you and Flibbit, because you are standing next to each other, rear back, and release a screech, a sonic screech that bursts towards you.
Ow.
And it's almost like it's trying to blow you backwards. Can you please make a dexterity saving throw?
Oh, you're nice, and you gave me dexterity. Yay.
Ooh, Flibbit rolled really well.
I also rolled really well. That is a 24.
You would take 6 damage, because it was halved, as this thing hits you, and you are not knocked backwards. Czar Bloodhoof looks at the room, looks at the scrapers, and you, who had come up and tried to slash him. He looks down at Reginald, shakes his head, pockets the thing behind him, and turns around and starts walking to the back of the room.
Like walking?
Yeah.
Like
He's taking his 30 feet, and he's looking for the hat.
Well, I am going... So now he's like 60 feet away from me? Ish?
Yep.
Okay. I am going to...
And you probably see him on his same turn start lifting and tossing boxes and knocking things over. And Reginald in the back is like, no, please, my collection.
He deserved it. I mean, he kept being very picky about whether things were turquoise or not. So, I mean, she's going to sheathe her short swords, pull out her bow, and try to fire twice at Czar.
Yeah, you quickly line it up and poof, poof, take 2 fires off towards Czar.
Yeah.
Okay.
19 for first one.
19 total.
Ooh, and a 13.
Does not hit.
Okay. Worst possible damage, a 5.
All right.
5 piercing.
5 damage as you watch as the arrow sails through. It grazes his shoulder where he's unarmored, and he turns around and gives you that like snort, that like angry bull snort, and looks at your way, and then he looks pretty grumpy at that.
I literally have nothing else to do, so that's it.
Okay, Helvetia.
You say that there's now 3
There are 3
scrapers?
They're all right next to each other. They're all within 5 feet of each other.
Okay. And how about their relation to Czar Bloodhoof?
He's
Would you
now
say
about-
that they and the Scrayclops are in a 30-foot cube, like within each other?
I'll roll for it. 11 and
How
above.
far away did he walk?
I said he walked 30 feet.
Okay.
So 11 and above, he's within the range. 1
He was
through 10.
standing next to him before,
Yeah,
so...
so if it's
Maybe,
a 30-foot
maybe?
cube,
Yeah,
maybe.
30-foot cube.
He's not. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Got the 9, so
Mm.
on the dice. So he walked a little bit
A
at
little
an
bit
angle.
out of angle. Okay. I think I'm going to pull out of that pocket that you saw way back when we were in the Emporium and pull out the mirror glove that I had
That-
Ariana fix.
Yeah, she just fixed up for you.
And
it's extra shiny.
I put it on, pull out a little bit of dust, cast it at this glove to make the mirrors really catch some light, and I cast Hypnotic Pattern
Ooh.
at the 3 scrapers.
Okay.
Um,
What do they need?
They need to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, believe it or
All
not,
3 of them, 30-foot
Wisdom
cube.
sucks. Okay, big drone. Big scraper. Fails. First, little guy. 17.
17 passes.
Okay, second little guy. Fails.
Okay. The 2 that failed are now charmed by me, and they're incapacitated and cannot move.
Wow.
And I yell at Kia, and I was like, I think I've got these guys. You get Czar.
Okay.
Okay. And the other one that succeeded is just nothing happens? It's just breaks free kind of thing?
Yeah.
Flibbit looks at you, Kia, and he goes, well, should I help her or help you?
Don't care.
Okay.
Help somebody.
And he's going to fly forward, and he's going to release his stench spray onto Czar Bloodhoof. And rolled a 2. Oh, wait.
Performance
I
anxiety.
did that wrong. I have to do a dex saving throw, don't I?
Yeah.
So, the rule of the 2 is that Czar actually failed that. So, Flibbit. So, cool. Flibbit did 8 damage. We are down to the drones. 2 of them are... what does it mean that they are charmed by you?
They're incapacitated.
It
and
says they're incapacitated and have a speed of 0. They're charmed. If they take damage, or someone uses an action to shake, it says to shake it out of its stupor. So to me, that means that it is unable to act and unable to move. It is with the whole hypnotic pattern thing.
It's like
it is.
I'll say that their eyes go from like a solid glow to like that swirly, staticky pattern, and they're like, ooh. And
yeah, they've been distracted.
Okay. Kind of like the projector way back when,
Yeah.
where it kind of like made them stop and sit there and think. But the other one knows better.
Yeah, so I have 2 of them.
Okay, the other
And
smaller one that succeeded is going to rush to you and attack you.
Okay.
It is going to rush over, and it's this like 2-legged creature. It seems to be made of all sorts of like gears and springs and stuff. And as it comes over, like an arm detaches from its chest to one side and then detaches from its chest to the other side, like it was crisscrossed before. And as it detaches that, it pulls out and it has these 2 rusty like railroad nails, and it goes to multi-attack you. A 15 and a 17.
The 15 misses. With the 17, you see Calvatia pull her cape forward in front of her
Nice.
and shield.
Nice.
The shield glows with the beautiful aura of something bought from Bog Bloomingdale's and deflects it with the shield cast. And the other 2 lose their turns. Did they try to save at any point in that, or are they just stuck?
No, they're just stuck until they're damaged or shaken out of it. So
yeah, I don't know that the other one would be smart enough to change that. Czar just got hit by you and by Flibbit. He's tossing these boxes aside, going, "Where is it? Where is it?" And he's just getting more and more and more mad. You watch as he finally goes to pick up this one crate, and it's too heavy, and you just see him like his hooves kind of like stamp down to the ground. He buckles his shoulders over, and he just roars. He's going to rage.
Uh-oh.
So you watch as his muscles bulge out a little bit, and he finally lifts that crate up, and it's like half as big as the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he finally goes, "Ah!" And he's going to go try to throw it. And he succeeds, and he just tosses this thing off to the side, and it just shatters there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as he tosses this crate to the side, you notice too that there's like an opening to the back of the building that was behind this crate, like a doorway.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that he's looking down, and the hat is there on the ground behind this crate. But he used his turn to toss that to the side.
I don't like this. I look back at Calvatia and see that she has 2 of them in,
I'm holding my arm out with my mirrored glove.
and saying that she was going to handle 3 giant scrapers.
Hey, she's pretty powerful.
Yeah, level 6 wizard. Like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Turn back and again fire 2 arrows at Czar.
Okay, go ahead. Making an enemy. This is great.
19.
That hits.
I keep getting 10s and 4s and a 13.
Oh, that one does not hit.
That was the exact same as my last one. Wow. Okay, so one of them hits. Ooh, much better. And 11 piercing damage.
Piercing damage, so halved. What you got? You got a bonus?
Yeah, that
Do
is
you wanna move?
that. I'm going to move 30 feet.
30 feet forward. You're kind of at the front of the stage now, and he's at the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm maintaining the funky mirrored hand movements to keep those ones distracted, and I cast. I pull out and like strike a fuse off of a tool piece on my belt, and I launch a Roman candle at
Boom, boom.
at the one that is not distracted.
Okay.
To
And
get
what is
him
this
out
spell?
of my way. This would be magic missile.
Oh, okay. So that just hits.
Yeah, and I am casting that. Pulling out one of the better Roman candles. This is all going to be at one dude for 18.
You got 18 on the one?
I got 3 4s out of my D4 darts.
Well,
Wow.
oh, bog witch of sorts. Would you like to know how much health points they had?
18.
It was exactly 18 hit points.
Perfect.
So would you please finish off this one that's not currently
My
hypnotic?
the Roman candle, poof, 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 poof. 4 little mortar shells come out of this thing and blast him straight into the eyeball until it caves in.
And then I think it's the last time it finally caves in, and you get that one last little firework, like, poof, and then the smoke emanates from the thing as it topples over.
I Roman candle drop as it's still smoking just off onto the stage, and I'm still holding out that mirrored hand, and I step forward and kind of like one eye on the ones that I have under control and one eye on Czar, just kind of like back and forth as I take my 30-foot movement closer.
Flibbit goes, well, okay, I guess we're doing this thing. Eddie's gonna launch another stench spray at old Czar. This time Czar succeeds, so it does nothing. Flibbit's gonna fly up in the air and be a little bit closer to Czar, but up in the air, high up.
Okay.
Both drones are hypnotic, so they lose their turns.
They make a
Okay.
Wow.
Czar's turn. He bends down and he picks up the hat, and he grabs it and he tucks it into his pocket.
His leather armor has pockets.
His leather armor has pockets. And he's going to turn and look at you, and he's going to look up at Flibbit, and he's going to look over at Calvatia, shake his head, and he's going to look back at you, and he's going to rush you.
Meep.
Because you are how far away?
30 feet from him.
So he ducks his head down, scrapes back his foot, and he goes, I don't know who you are, but you're making me mad. And he is running your direction. So he sprints 30 feet towards you, and at the last second, he is going to put his head down and try to headbutt you. 18.
I was hoping that he would have missed with Flibbit's protection
I even
shield,
forgot
but
about that.
that's just over it.
Can you make a dexterity saving throw? And also take 13 damage.
I'm level 5.
Hey, you picked a fight.
Yeah. Dexterity saving throw?
Uh-huh. If you beat a 15.
That is 19.
Okay, you succeed. He hits you hard. It hurts a lot. And you slide back a little bit, but you did not get tossed backwards like he was hoping.
13?
13 damage.
Ow.
Yep.
That hurts.
And he's going to look at you and he's going to say, be careful, kid. What is the saying? Mess with the bull, get the horns. That's the saying. And it's your turn. And he's standing right in front of you.
She's going to move 60 feet away
Okay.
and is going to...
And then Zephyr Strike means you don't get opportunities?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she's going to first attack longbow. So she's going to pull back her bow and try to hit him.
Okay.
Probably misses. Yeah, that misses. An 11.
Nope, that does not hit.
Yeah, she's going to finally end spell for Zephyr Strike and is going to give herself advantage on her last longbow attack.
Okay.
Do I even need to roll advantage? I got a nat 20.
No, you do not.
So that is a 29 to hit.
That will, believe it or not, hit.
And then she's going to, that is 11 piercing damage.
Plus the force.
So that is a plus 7 force damage. So a total of
Nice.
18.
Calvatia.
Can Calvatia see the ball cap hanging out of his pocket?
Make a perception check.
19.
Yes. He couldn't quite get the bill in there. He just stuck the fabric-y part into his pocket. The bill's dangling out.
I am holding out my mirrored hand. Those Scrayclops dudes are still under my charm. And so I cast Mage Hand out to snatch it from his belt and pull it back towards me.
Okay.
And I tell him, you do not belong in this city. I try to
I
grab
don't
it.
think... I guess let's do a sleight of hand or a dexterity check for
Sure.
your thing. But why don't you go ahead and do it with advantage because it's just dangling there and it's not his turn or anything.
Rolled the same number both times.
Is that good or bad?
You said I am a very dexterous person. I rolled a 24.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Wow.
You say to him, you do not belong in the city. With that high of a thing, I don't think he would notice that you pulled it out of his pocket. Are you trying to hide that fact now that you recognize that he didn't notice it?
I think that my mage hand is just drawing it out and around.
Okay.
To bring
Well,
it
it can
back
only move
towards
30
me.
feet, I
It's
think.
30 feet, so it's towards him right now. It's snatched it
Okay.
and can't come back to me until
Okay.
next turn. But if he hasn't noticed, it's and I
That's your turn.
don't move. I don't do anything else.
Flibbit's turn. He's gonna go, how you doing, Kia?
Fine,
Fine enough?
relatively.
Okay. He didn't like that. He's gonna fly over and cast Cure Wounds on you.
Thank you. I was almost at half, but I was also not at half, so.
8 hit points back to you.
Yay.
And then he's going to fly away and say, hope that helped, and fly back up vertically into the air.
It did.
The drone's, again, just drooling, staring at you in a corner.
I got him for now.
So, Czar's turn.
And I am 60 feet away from him.
Czar looks around, sees you holding the scrapers, and he goes, and he looks at you, and you just hit him with a big attack, and he goes, and he's looking pretty grumpy about the situation. He reaches down into his belt loop, pulls out a very familiar looking device that you've seen before, a Rocky Talkie. And all he does is he holds it up to his head and he says, extraction. And then he puts it into his pocket. He is going to use his action to bend over, pick up a crate, and hurl it at you.
Okay.
Looks like you just
He
have your
has
hand
not-
out.
He has
I got-
not pulled his weapon out, by the way. It's
Oh,
still
yeah.
on his back. 21.
I pull my cape forward and pull it across in front of my face and duck, and I keep my mirrored hand out, and I shield by the bear's pit.
Oh, yeah. Did it meet it, or it was by
Beats it
one?
by one.
Nice.
Oh.
Cool. The crate explodes on your shield, and you are showered in various hair dryers and curling irons that are very nice looking. And Reginald goes, "My hair collection."
They tumble down and bounce off of my cape that has kind of this hard look when I use it.
Bog Bloomingdale's. Great armor and fashionable, too.
That's right. Can you please, one of you, actually, Kia, can you please roll me a d20 and tell me what you get? We're at the top of the round.
I don't like this.
I know you don't like anything I do.
No, I don't. I really don't. A 5.
You've given her a
A
complex.
5.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's your turn.
I don't like this. She is going to, seeing that Calvatia has
They still are under her control.
and has the hat in her mage hand.
Yep.
Trying to draw Zarv's attention away. Kia's just gonna keep firing her bow
Okay.
until he looks at her. So that is a 28 for the first attack.
Dang.
She's rolling real good
She's
on those
rolling
hits.
Real good
Yeah.
on those hits.
And a 13 on the second attack.
You,
Keep
that,
getting
you,
13s
your
on
second
the
attacks
second
have been 13 so many times.
one. Okay, 7 piercing damage.
Okay.
I am going to use something that I haven't really used before.
Okay.
I am going to cast Hunter's Mark as a bonus action on Zar.
Okay. What does that do?
It makes me do an extra 1d6 damage if I hit him, and I have advantage on perception and survival checks I make to find him.
Okay, well, why don't you... We'll just say that you did that first, because you could have bonus actioned first.
Oh.
Why don't you
true.
roll a 1d6 and add that to your damage? And then Calvatia, it's your turn. It's just a d6, right?
Yeah, 3 extra damage.
Okay. Calvatia's turn.
So is Zar looking at me still since he just huffed that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So he's looking at me. So I actually send my mage hand off to go place the hat in like underneath one of the seats that's close-ish to me, but not bring it to me so that maybe he doesn't see
Do you
it
want
come
to
by.
do a opposed sleight of hand, and I'll be doing perception, but I'm going to do mine at disadvantage. Nope, he doesn't see it.
Okay.
Nope. Got a 3.
Okay. I got a 12. I didn't roll that well, but
He has not that
Okay.
good of wisdom.
So my mage hand comes and it tucks the cap where I know where it's at, but not on my person because since he's looking at me. I then pull out a mortar tube and strike it and point it at him and cast a chromatic orb.
Ooh, cool.
Ooh.
So does a 17 hit Zar?
He does hit Zar.
Ooh, yeah.
He's
So-
a barbarian, so he has low AC.
A giant firework mortar launches out of this tube that I have attached to my person. I stumble back just a tiny bit as it launches forward, and a large sphere explodes in his face.
That was a lot of dice.
And does 15 thunder damage, or like force damage.
Wow.
Force?
Thunder, I guess. I'm choosing, thunder.
Cool. Does not rage against that.
And then I just glance over at the Scray Claps. I'm still a little worried. I'm making sure that my mirrored glove is facing them and that I'm not losing their focus. And just look at Kia with a little bit of
I think Kia nods
Flibbit's gonna
to
go,
Calvatia.
as he likes to do, and he's going to try to do his stench spray again. Zar succeeds once more. Sorry, Flibbit, you're not doing good.
he's in nervous flatulence.
Yeah, so he's releasing stench sprays that are just smell bad. They're not doing any sort of caustic damage. The drones, man, jeez Louise. All right, the drones are there.
They were meant to be like such a big thing.
They were. Now it's Zar, and it's his turn.
Yeah.
Zar's gonna look at Calvatia, look at Kia, shake his head once more. You see him like reach up to grab his weapon, think about it for a second, shake his head, and then he's gonna reach into his belt and he's going to pull out something. He pulls out a circular thing about this big with a little cork topper on it, and he looks at both of you guys, looks at you and the fact that you are also near Flibbit, and he goes boom, and he throws it and it goes. Can you please make a Constitution saving throw as a
Constitution.
powder of gassish, poisony type damage releases from this.
You couldn't be nice and make it a dexterity.
No, that's not how it works.
12.
12 does not succeed. Flibbit got a nat 1.
Oh, no.
Flibbit, buddy.
He's not doing so great.
No, he's not.
13 damage of the poison variety to you and to Flibbit as well. Flibbit's not looking great.
Does that do anything lasting?
No, it's not poisoned condition. It's just
Okay.
poison damage.
Hmm.
Flibbit's
not strong.
then he is going to... He's going to move 30 feet towards the back door. Unaware that the hat is missing off of his body.
Okay.
Top of the round, can you please roll me another d20?
1.
Okay, thank you.
5 and a 1. I don't like this.
Kia, it's your turn. Czar is standing near an opening. Behind, you can see the back alley of this market square, the back alley of this auction house, and he looks like he's going to make an exit.
How well was Flibbit doing by looking
He's
at
fine.
him?
It's just that he doesn't have a lot of health. He's fine right now.
Hunter's Mark. I like that spell.
Mhm.
She is going to, seeing that her arrows seem to not have been doing much, she's going to try out the force arrow
Okay.
and hooks down her bowstring and says, I hope this works.
Mhm.
And pulls it back and is going to shoot it
Okay.
at Czar.
So with this one, go ahead and make your normal attack.
17.
17 does hit.
Okay.
He also failed his dexterity saving throw. So,
Oh.
Can you do your normal damage of that? And then can you add 1d8 of force damage to it?
Ooh. Okay, so there's a... so that is 7 piercing damage and 6 force damage.
And he is pushed back 10 feet.
Oh, I didn't want to push him toward the door.
Sorry. That's what the force arrow did. But it did lots of damage to him.
Yeah.
And he pushes and he catches himself on the door frame. And again, he growls at you. He's not happy. Calvatia.
Is he pretty distant from me?
At this point,
Since he's been walking away and I didn't walk closer.
Yeah,
and-
I'd say he's probably 50 feet, 40 to 50 feet from you. But it's not like you have to stay in one spot for your spell.
I do to maintain
Why?
distance on the guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't.
What's the distance of hypnotic pattern?
It is 120 feet,
Yeah, you
so I
got
probably
room.
have plenty
Yeah.
of room. So I'm going to step further and up onto the stage to make my way towards him, but not just within my 30-foot range. And I'm going to use my alternate hand that isn't holding the mirrored glove to swipe some spores and blow them at him
Like a kiss.
for for a poison spray. So can Czar make a Constitution saving throw?
Con saving. I would love to make a Constitution saving
I
throw.
bet. I was going for wisdom stuff, but
16.
yeah, he beats it. So the spores kind of make their way towards him, but fizzle out a little bit too much that they just kind of dance around him instead of actually landing.
And he just chuckles. Bog witches.
Get out of Athon, Czar.
And Flibbit goes, I'm helping! And he's going to try one more time on this stench spray. He's going to get really close.
He's really trying to help.
Czar succeeds once more. I promise. The top hat's in one of his eyes and the tie is dangling and he's trying his hardest.
I say, you're doing great.
And Czar goes, enough! I hate this town anyway. And he is going to step out of the room. And right at about that time, the door bursts open and 5, 6, 7 other bog witches come rushing in with Aiden. sweating. And
Poor senior intern.
yeah, and Czar looks and he just chuckles and he's like, I got what I needed anyway. And you see him through this opening run out into the street and screaming up from like north, as if it had gone north and then came back through town, is this crazy steampunk vehicle. And it like skids to a stop and turns around and he hops in and he starts zooming away.
Wait, Zara's 10 feet tall. How tall
This
is
thing
this
is
vehicle?
like a school bus.
Oh.
It's huge. And he starts zooming away and he hops into the vehicle and they just take off. And you don't know if that will be a quick thing. You don't know if he'll come back for it or not. How long it might take for him to notice, but he leaves under the assumption that that hat is still in his pocket.
Calvatia definitely feels that adrenaline crash, and she starts like kind of hysterically just cackling.
It's your witch. It's your bog witch heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah. About he thinks he got what
All
he came
all your
for.
council members like come over and they're like, "What?" And you tell them what's going on.
I definitely direct them towards the scrapers to just let me drop this thing and you guys can take them out.
Yeah, they handily, easily take them out. No problem.
As I'm like wiping tears out of my eyes about like, oh my gosh, that just happened. I go and I grab the ball cap from where my mage hand dropped it.
Okay, you grab the ball cap, and Kia, you notice Reginald is like on the ground, like, I can't believe we got out of that. That was the most insane thing ever. Oh my gosh, and he's just like panting like that, and he sees you with the cap. He said, "You saved my cap. You saved my cap. Thank you, Calvatia. You're the greatest bog witch ever."
I ignore him completely as I walk towards Kia with the ball cap.
I say, thank you for helping fight Czar.
He attacked Athon. This is my home. This is what you were looking for. I think Reginald might owe it to you. And I glare at him, and like my bog brothers and sisters
Dealing
from the
with the
council are
scraper.
behind me, giving him a look with like raised
Yeah.
eyebrows.
Yes, for sure. It's a gift from Reginald Winston Goldsworth.
Thank you.
We'll be sure to spread
Here.
word of your next event
Yes.
far and wide,
Here.
Reginald.
Here, take this too. And he hands you a pouch of 200 clips.
200, like,
Gold. He goes, I'm sorry. I should never have brought the scraper down. I shouldn't have worked. I shouldn't have worked with the bloodhounds. I shouldn't have done any of that.
Boo, you worked with the Bloodhounds?
Yeah, they helped me get this scraper into town. I've been working with them for a while. I'm sorry. I didn't do it. I didn't mean to do anything wrong.
I turn back to my fellow councilman and would someone gather him?
He's just crying, and he's just like, it was supposed to be an auction day.
You're having so much fun playing Reginald.
I am indeed. As you kind of were wrapping everything up, right? Reginald admits to working with the Bloodhounds, and they brought him the scraper. Whether or not Czar had some sort of control over that scraper because they brought it and provided it to him, or he has some pretty cool, crazy past world tech items, you're not really sure. I will say something that I forgot to say during that extravaganza is that thing that he was holding to go boop with. As you shot the thing out of his hand, you recognized two separate points of surged artifact feeling in your body. The hat
Oh,
and that thing he was holding.
okay.
So he at least has one more surged artifact.
Something that activated those scrapers.
It's true.
Dun, dun, dun.
And you were able to wrap this up. Calvatia goes off and talks with her council members about Reginald and what they're going to do. He's talking about doing community service and helping in any way, shape, or form. He's so sorry. And it was fine that they were oval, not circular, and whatever. And the turquoise was was adequate, and he's just going off and he's thanking you down on his knees, like begging you for forgiveness.
Calvatia's just staring up into the sky, and you just see some of the other bog witches are talking to him, and she's just like shaking her head very, very slightly and staring up at the clouds and messing with her necklace.
As, like, staring at the gold clips in the bag and being like, this guy is real rich. She puts the clips away in her little tin and stares at the hat, now probably with narrow hole through it, and puts it on.
And puts it on your head.
Mm-hmm.
You put it on your head. You don't feel anything, but you sense that it's got that surge artifact, power.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing immediately kind of catches your... Yeah, nothing specifically noticeable, but you do know that it is a surged item.
She takes it off again and puts it in her back pocket, and makes sure to tuck it all the way and even the bill so that hopefully sneaky mage hands can't grab it.
So you stick it in your bag.
The Baconator.
Yeah, you stick it in your bag, and yeah, it goes in there. You don't notice anything yet. You got 200 gold. Can you please, for me, make either perception or survival check as you're standing there, putting the hat in your bag, looking out the door to where Czar made his escape.
Perception is much
And
better.
I will do the thing I always do for you once per episode, and Flibbit will help you.
Slightly better. 15.
15. You're putting the hat away and you look outside. It's still beautiful. It's still mid-afternoon. It's not that late. You see something glinting in the dust as it settles out by where that car was.
I go over and pick it up.
And you go over and you pick it up. And as you pick it up, you see a very familiar device that Beryl had. And it had texts on it
Oh,
that she had been receiving from Maud. It's basically like an old slide phone
yeah.
with texts on it, right? And on it, you just say, Kia, help, captured, and a little dash on the side that says Maud. And you look in the distance and you see the distant vehicle driving out of town and Czar Bloodhoof and the Bloodhounds making their way out of Athon.
I just want to know, is there like holes for his horns or something to stick up?
Yeah, we'll say his head is above the top and sitting there steering away, laughing. Got exactly what I came for. And who knows when he'll notice.
Well.
He didn't notice very well.
Uh,
Okay, so you got a little something going on there. You got the hat. Didn't think you'd keep the hat. That was cool. Calvatia comes over after having dealt with Reginald. And Flibbit's there
Reginald.
too. And he's like, well, I suppose the mission's the same. Still got to go find Maud, but unfortunately, she might be with the Bloodhounds now.
hopefully we can go to, where is it? Warden Wharf or whatever?
Oh, Wander Wharf?
Wander Wharf.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we can go to Wander Wharf and find that guy that Beryl said she knew.
And Beryl said she might meet us there too.
Yeah!
I was using a different voice.
Well, I'm sorry that your stay in Athon was a little more eventful than the type of events I like to throw. But we appreciate your help for our fair city, and hopefully the items that we've been able to give to you help you in your adventures.
Yes!
Just as much.
Thank you. Thank you for the items and the... My dress is probably like a little dirty, and I say, thank you for everything you've given me, and it's been really nice to finally go to Athon and the famous, as the guard said it, City of Flowers.
I'm assuming you're off after them.
Well, I mean, we
Yeah.
can't stick around too long unless you need to pick up anything from the store or take a rest or anything, but I don't know. It's up to you.
I think we should rest and for a little while and
Just do a short rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the word? Recoup.
Yeah. Recuperate.
And then we can be on our way. Thank you, Calvatia, and the rest of your bog witches, bog sisters, and even Reginald for
I'm sorry. It didn't need to be turquoise. I don't know why I was so adamant.
We'll work on him. Come by and see us anytime. You're very welcome here in Athon. Come visit any of my bog sisters and brothers. We'll be happy to help you in any way we can.
Thank you.
And you turn around, and standing right there, in about 4 inches from your face, is Mirabelle the witch, who came in today from the auction. She goes, "Yes, sweetie, and I packed you a coffee to go."
I think.
I say, "Ooh, Mirabelle, did you bring some for me?"
Naturally. And she pulls out a thermos of all the coffees. And we fade to black, I think. And if you want to pick up any more items or anything, we can deal with that next time.
Well,
I'm just going to have her follow you the rest of the campaign.
probably.
All right. Well, I think that is everything. It was a long episode, but hopefully we had fun. I did not expect you to just outright fight Tsar Bloodhoof. That was rad. It makes you
I
feel
wanted to shoot the hat.
one way or the other, however it makes you feel. He was still looking fine. And you did a lot
We
of
did
damage to him.
30 damage.
You did
to
like
him.
62 damage to him. Yeah,
Yeah.
he big bad. You.
As I said, I'm level 5.
Yep.
And I fought big, bad Minotaur dudes.
So you go take a rest. You gather up your items. You start getting ready. You get the motor wheeler ready to get on the road. I think just to do like a smash cut to a driving away vehicle, just to do like a little cinematic thing where you see this. The audience sees. Kia doesn't see this, but we see from the world. You see this big old steam-powered vehicle and Tsar Bloodhoof laughing. And it's nighttime, and they get out to set up camp, and he goes to pull something out of his pocket. And he goes, "Ah!" and yells up at the sky, and you can hear it all the way from Athon. No, not really, but...
As it cuts out to him yelling, and it's like a couple birds flip from the trees.
And you have a peaceful rest. All right. Yay. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you, the mom, for being Calvatia once again.
Yes, for buying me stuff and also hypnotizing.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you took away my curse, so...
I did, and I felt bad, so now
Nope,
I don't feel bad because you made my two guys do nothing for the entire fight.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. Leave us a comment. Do the things that you do that we like that you do, like review us and whatnot.
Wow.
Yep. This is the Adventurous. We're going to keep them coming. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time
On
Dadventurous.
Adventurous.